I've watched the stories that have been presented, and the left, it's been really sad. The left has told better stories, horrible facts, better stories. The conservative, all the facts, no good stories for the foundation of that. How do we generate those better stories from our homes this Sabbath time with our families? What are the stories that we need to be telling? What story do we need to say, okay, let's lean on this right now in this time?
Well, I mean, the central story is the story of Scripture, the story of the gospel that starts in a garden with a man and a woman that are perfect in a beautiful setting, and a dragon comes and a man fails to protect his wife, and God sends them out. But God promises that the seed of the woman will come and crush the seed of the serpent. And the whole Old Testament is tracing that story. That's why there's such a big deal about, will Abraham have any kids? And but his wife is barren. But finally he has the promised seed, Isaac, and the son of laughter. And then the story goes down through Isaac and Jacob and down into Egypt. And God raises up Joseph. And that's the story of struggle and suffering. But God remembers his promises. He sends Moses.
Yes.
He remembers his covenant with Abraham.
Come on now.
He brings down another dragon.
Yes.
Pharaoh's a snake.
You're preaching now.
And Moses leads the people out. God renews covenant, says, you're my people. Through you, I'm going to bless all the nations. Yeah. They fail again, right? And we're still looking for the seed. Right, but there's these hints of it all the way through, right?
Well, you could have just kept going with it. Come on now.
But all the way, I'm skipping, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But again and again, that's the story. The storyline is the seed of the woman, the seed of the serpent, and God's faithfulness. And Jesus comes, and he's the promise. He's the seed of the woman, come to crush the seed of the serpent.
Yeah.
When he dies, the serpent's head is crushed. He said, if I'm lifted up, I will draw all the people to myself. And that's the story. That's the great story. But all the other great stories echo that story.
Yeah, that's right.
And the stories are in all the old stories are this way. All the old adventures, even like the Greek tragedies and stuff. There's like little pieces of there's echoes of the true story.
That's right.
It's sometimes inverted, sometimes it's falsified, but there's pieces of it in the old ancient myths. The whole world has eternity put in their hearts. Everybody descended from Noah.
That's right.
That's why everybody's got their flood narratives. Everybody's got their flood stories.
Sure
Everybody got their creation stories. But I look back and think of all the adventure stories. The Narnia stories, the Lord of the Rings stories.
That hideous truth.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up. Huckleberry Finn. Tom Sawyer. You've got all these echoes in various ways.
American history.
American history, and the story of the saints, the martyrs.
Yeah, King Alfred. That's a good story right now.
Think of faithful missionaries, mothers, fathers raising kids, suffering persecution, all the way down to your own stories. Tell the story of your dad, your mom, your grandpa, your grandma.
Amen.
How you came to know the Lord and how God answered prayers in your life.
Yeah.
Set a table this Saturday night, this Sunday after church, and feast and tell stories. Tell the stories of God's grace, because that's the story. Ultimately, is the story of the cross, the story of the gospel, and that's the story that's going to win.